Hey guys, welcome to our last session for Where Do I Start as an Agent? We talked the last 2 weeks, kind of going from A to Z. Now we're finished even. I think we finished even the Z. Today I just want to share our experience and kind of just talk about, how we can improve our approach to find leads and how we can improve our approach when we come to a position that we're dealing with a customer, to take them from a customer standpoint to a client standpoint, those free consultation, following up, and then how we can improve on when we have them as a client to get them into a house to keep up with them. So what we basically, what we have covered the last 2 weeks, you guys can feel free to jump in. We talked about first, when you get your license, obviously you join a brokerage, you print your business card, then you want to go and get clients. We talked about how in your circle of immediate family and friends is where the easiest application is. And Louisa had some good examples. I'm sorry, not Louisa, Louise had some good examples for us. So second to that, we talked about the network, right? We talked about one of our agents mentioned like her mechanic. I gave my business card. One of our agents mentioned nail salon. She gave her business card. So that was like the second place. And then third place, we talked about what if you guys want to do a little bit of like maybe farming or Zillow, things in that nature. Then once you have that potential client, we define the path of how effective it is when you invite them to the office or you meet with them at their place of choice for a free consultation. The free consultation is going to be about, hey, what's your budget? What can you afford? Do you have a pre-approval? Go to your lender of choice, get a pre-approval. We talked about bringing their mind into a practical stage where first you need a loan, then you get a house. We also discussed that once they do have that pre-approval and you guys are going to start showing them houses, to have a meeting with them to bring them into reality. So if someone is trying to buy a house in a certain city, but their budget doesn't match that, let's do a market analysis. I saw one of our agents was doing that the other day here, and that's really effective. I just feel, and we talked about this last week, I just feel that when you do it the other way around, when you're giving them a market analysis and you're giving them houses but they don't have a pre-approval, it's sometimes hard to get to the finish line. But I do agree, I've been in the position where I get potential clients and right away they're telling me, show me houses, let's go see houses. And it's hard to say no because then you might lose the customer, right? So you just have to balance it and be precise on, hey, we need to think about the loan, because as much as we go window shopping, if you really are in the market, we should follow a plan of action. We should organize our path and we should do that. And then we also talked last week about following up. When do we follow up? When do we back away? And how important is it to follow up? So to sum it up, to remind you guys, if you have someone that's a customer, and everybody knows here what I mean by a customer, yes. Everybody, you guys know? So they're not your client yet, they're potential clients, right? If you have a customer, you gotta weigh your options when to follow up. You don't want to be too pushy, you don't want to be too aggressive. You want to give them a certain space, but at the same time, you want to show them that you care, you want to show them that you're professional, and you haven't forgot about them. So you just got to balance that case by case, okay? When they are your client, then hopefully you know them, you know about them, you know how they communicate. For example, we had another scenario that one of our agents had placed an offer. The offer didn't go through. Their offer came second place. The agent decided to give him some space while explaining why it was second place. So I think communication is key in any such scenario, but following up is really, really important. So what I can add to that from my experience, it happened last night, and I'm sure all of you guys are gonna do the same. God willing, when you get a little bit busier, our job has a position that like you gotta answer your phone all the time. I was speaking with an agent yesterday. My wife saw me go back and forth. I think after from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. we were going back and forth. 8 p.m. verbally, she said, I'm going to accept your offer. I'll send you the document tomorrow. And then another showing I was trying to set up with an agent at 10 p.m. when I was actually, we're already going to sleep. My phone ticked and said, your appointment is confirmed. So she's also a 30-year veteran agent. So what I'm saying in a follow-up situation, you guys, when you get busier, the good with our businesses, we make our own schedule. A lot of times you be attending to your family during the day, but then sometimes on the weekend you have to be available in the evening. So being available is important. Being communicative is important. Being professional is very important. We also talked about, I'm just reviewing everything. We talked about our fiduciary duty, which is, in my opinion, being honest, putting the client first, putting their interests first, and focusing on what works for them versus what works generally, right? Mm-hmm. We always want to give them a general idea of the market. So because a lot of people or a lot of customers, before they become clients, they may have talked to other people, other brokers, other agents. They may have watched the news, so their mind might be like 5 places. So it's always good to give them a general information of what's going on, but then as soon as possible, you need to bring them into their context. You need to bring that information into their context. So if generally you're talking about the market, and then Ani, let's say, finds out that the client is a first-time home buyer, they're trying to buy a condo in Valencia with $600,000 budget, then your communication from that point on should be that, okay? One of the biggest challenges I had, and I'll share this with you guys, and I think some of our loan officers may be able to relate to that, Perry can relate to that, is this. When it comes to a position that they're shopping around for the rate, they talk to their friends and family. Friends and family sometimes give their experience, but they're apple and orange. So for example, one of their friends, I have a customer yesterday, one of their friends bought a house with like a rate that was 1% less. And then his rate is going to be 1% more. Come to find out, the loan amounts are different. That has a factor. Come to find out, one could be a condo, one could be a single family home. Different credit score. One of the most practical factor that plays with the rate role is your down payment. And I'm beginning to learn that more and more, especially in a market that the rates are high. So for example, we have a situation now that we have a borrower that is putting 10% down. When we looked at his option for 15% and 20%, the rate was almost 1% different. 1.5% different, 1.5% less if you put 20. So 10%, the rate was like, let's say 9, 20% was 7.5. This is a non-QM loan, it's a bank statement loan. So I think as an agent, what I'm trying to tell you guys, especially we're trying to get a powerful start, fresh start, keep in mind when they come to you and say, even with the house, oh, my friend bought a house for like $700,000 in Granada Hills. Why is this $800,000? Why are you telling me to go higher? Well, again, you gotta bring their situation according to what's real versus comparing it to something that is out of context. So the reason you have to go multiple offer is because there is 5 other offers. The reason your friend didn't have the same situation was because they were maybe buying a condo and there weren't that many demand maybe. So just be on the lookout that they will try to compare this situation to an unrealistic situation. Okay, be on the lookout for that. Today, our day is going to be very short, guys. I want to end the class by 12:20. We're not going to have lunch. We're just having a snack because I promised to do 3 sessions on where do I start. Today is the last part 3. Next week, God willing, I want to start a little bit of a harder course, not as practical, more theory, which is going to be the probate. So we do maybe 3 or 4 classes, maybe 3. I'll try to do it in 3. On probate, trust sale, probate, with court confirmation, not court confirmation, all those different aspects.
Trust sale and probate are two different.
Everything is different. In detail, we'll discuss them. Is that an alarm?
It's a car.
Oh, car. Make sure that it's not a building alarm.
No.
So I'm pretty much done. I want you guys to ask some question. If not, I want us to share some experience. If you guys have any question, please do so now. Ask me now. If not, I want to give you guys a couple of scenarios and we can talk about. And we'll be done. We'll be done in 20 minutes. Any questions? No questions. Okay, so let's take someone, whoever wants to answer this. So we do have, and I'm very excited about it, we do have few new agents that has joined our brokerage. I want one of you guys to tell all of us, where did you start again, and take us from where you started with a customer and how they became a client and where you're at. If someone can share their experience and we can talk about it a little bit, because I want the other ones that don't have that opportunity yet, I want to make them start thinking, basically. So who wants to give me their experience before I call out their names on YouTube TV? I know last week we had you two give us an experience. I think you gave one, you gave one.
Yeah.
Would you like to give an experience of one of the clients that you brought in without mentioning their beautiful name?
Okay, sure. Yes, I believe because in the first few classes that we had with you, I got some information about loan. So that really helped me to start a conversation when I just come across to someone. I just open up conversation from nowhere, like, oh, where do you live? And just some question. I mean, I just start talking because we're walking together. So, and I believe having that knowledge that you just mentioned, that, you know, you make it clear for people, even if they're not a client or even if they're not looking for as a just having a daily conversation, you let them know that what you see in the news or what you see in the market is just some general information, and everyone's situation is different. So, and I just talk about that. So, and I believe, so, especially first-time buyer, they really do not have information, and some of them are, I mean, they really want to buy, or they even have the means to buy some real estate, small or big. But the confusion is in a part of how they start, which is getting a loan, how they're going to be approved. So,
let me jump in. Can I jump in right there, because you bring up a really good point, and I want them to use it, and I want all of us to use it. So guys, let's pause and think about what she said. She said, when I got a little info from lending, I decided to open a conversation with people. People could be cousin, aunt, husband's employee, husband's referral, anyone. So that's exactly kind of what I've experienced. And that's what I would like to share with you guys. Educate yourself in your free time with things that have to do with a home buy, a home purchase, or that whole path. And lending is a big part of it. Even if you guys want to vote, we cannot do the probate now. We can vote on 3 subjects. So I'll put it on the board and we can vote at the end. We'll do first-time buyer, probate, or continue lending. So we can do 3 sessions on one of those, and we'll take a vote. But I like what you're saying is, and I just want to make you guys think of something. Okay, Joel, Elizabeth, stay with us. So I want you guys to think of something. Okay, if someone comes to you, pretend you are going to buy clothes, shoes, house, car, whatever you want to buy. Okay, if someone comes to you, says something, 5 other people come say the same thing. But this 7th person or this 6th person comes about the same thing you want to buy and presents it to you with more information differently. Trust me, that one is the one that's going to stay in your head. Because I agree, there are a lot of agents, and God bless them all. God bless all of us. God helps them. But the one that is going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to the conversation is the one that you might remember. So if you go to 10 store and you look at 10 different shoes, 10 different outfits, right? You might walk into one store that the items are uniquer, better price, they're more friendly, they approach you, that's what I'm trying to put for us with our time. Not just information, not just like probate, lending, trust, the information. Well, let's just simplify it and use a little bit of the information we'll learn in practicality so it brings result. Because I also feel like if we go, it's kind of like if you want to buy shoes, let's say, or an outfit, want to buy an outfit, let's say, and you go for 6 months and you don't buy. Eventually, you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm just not gonna buy it. Forget it. I'm not gonna buy a car. A lot of times it's happened. You decide to buy a car. You go car shopping for like 3 months, and you can't make up your mind. What do? You just don't buy. And unfortunately, this could happen to us as an agent if we just get information, and you don't try to balance your time with studying versus getting clients, following up with those clients. Then you could burn out. You could lose hope. You could be like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to go become a chef. Which is nothing wrong to be a chef. But I'm saying, if you really want to do this, you got to balance your time between information you learn versus the action you take about the information to give to other people, right? So this is really good. So you took the information, you made some conversation. Now, questions, so we could move forward. Out of those conversations, did anything develop?
Yes, it did, because it get her up to think about that. Oh, maybe she has a chance to do that. So then she called me and she said she wants to have more information about it.
That's the first step.
And that the start our
That's the
relationship
start
about looking for a home.
Yeah, and I want to also add to this, if that person, I don't know, but if that person that's called is not a relative or a friend that knows you, it's going to be a longer road.
Yes.
It's going to be more question, and they're not going to trust, as the trust relationship is not going to be formed as easy as if it's your brother, for example. So distinguish that. If you're doing your knowledge with a friend, it's going to be an easier path.
Yeah.
If you're doing your knowledge with somebody that was referred to you, it's going to be more of a longer path. Might not be harder, just might be longer. Meaning, tell yourself you have to repeat yourself 5 times. You have to spend more time with them. And I'm even telling myself that, because I sometimes get fed up repeating myself, and I feel like, oh, they should have already felt me there, or trust me there, or want to go with me. But you know what? They don't know me, and they have a right to talk to 5 other people like me, and they may not go. So I think it's our job to be patient with the ones that are potential, versus like if it's your brother, your uncle, your dad, whoever, it might be a little bit more easier, right? So lastly, on your experience with this potential customer / client, how long you think the journey on this particular case took or will take for her to become your client? Meaning she's like, okay, I'm gonna buy with you, let's start.
I feel, I can't say she's 100%. It's hard to predict that if she's gonna buy with me or not. But I feel she's serious about it, because when I asked her to take this step, she would take it. She did take it. So.
Did she get a pre-approval?
Yes. So she sent her docs. Some few.
She get it with a different company or with us?
No, here.
Okay.
It's not. I told you, it's not the one. She stepped and she provides some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. I think that's this is how you turn on the lights. You keep doing that. One of these lights is gonna really give an answer. One transaction will lead with another. So this is really, really, really good. Okay, so that was an example that I wanted to kind of display for all of us. So my last statement, guys, is this about this 3 session that we had. If you guys remember, like about a month ago, I said take your business card, choose someone, give it to someone, try one scenario, come back and tell us about it. So I encourage you guys to do the same, even before we start the lending class next week or probate class. If you have an experience, just tell yourself maybe once a week, you just talk to someone, like she said. Just open a conversation with someone. So I encourage you guys to do that. You never know when that conversation is gonna lead into revenue, right? So if you guys have any questions,
I have a similar situation as her.
okay, sure.
Like a week ago, I was at my dental office and I was talking to my dentist regarding all these changes that's coming with this credit score, you know, the FICO score, like low, like the ones that have low FICO score, they get better, you know, interest rate. And then like the assistant, you know, the dentist assistant, she was like listening to the conversation. And then I just realized that she's interested to, you know, get something more information. So when I was leaving, or as I was leaving, I just, you know, offered my card, you know, business
Nice.
card to her. And then, like, the next day, she called me. You know, I didn't even approach her. She called me and she wanted to get some information. So I gave her those information, whatever I had. That's why, you know, I was just talking to Perry to get more information to her. And then, like, she said, well, she's not qualified for any loan yet, so I just gave her some suggestions. But then she said that she asked one of her cousins to call me and get some information. So
Lead to
that's
another, yeah.
So I'm waiting for the cousin to call. So that's why I'm trying to get as much information as I can, so I can provide it to them. Bottom line is like the more information you have,
While you finish
the
that, I'll
more
be right back.
knowledgeable
guys.
you are.
Finish that.
So the better it is, you know, to provide it. One day they might be your client, they might not, but at least you try.
And I feel like what works too is if they're not like eligible for a loan right now, you kind of prep them, you talk to them like, yeah, I need this much money, you know, 2 years of income. Like if you go over all of that, then you kind of get them prepped in their mind.
That's true, yeah, I did, and she liked it, you know, like, I just kind of educate her that what she needs to do to start,
Yeah.
you know, so she's like, from not knowing anything, now she's kind of in the path. She
Yeah.
knows what to do next, and then like, I don't wanna be like pushy,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know, I just wanted to put her in the right path, you know, so I think that she's starting.
That's great, yeah.
And I want to add to that a little bit. So that's really good, guys. But one thing, if you give your business card and you feel as a coordinator, as an agent, you feel like the person wants a little bit more reassurance from your side, the truth is you're part of a team. You're part of a great team. So you could use the team as our team is here to help you. Our team invites you to come for a free consultation. Our team, please take a look at our Instagram. Our team, they take a look at our website. Okay, guys? So now with that said, let's vote. Caroline is not here. Perry doesn't. Okay, it's fine. So we have lending. So option 1 to do the next classes, just 2 seconds, would be lending. So we can do like we can do 1 or 2 more sessions on lending, review what we learned, and go further in just detail. We can do first time buyer. So if you guys want, we can do class, like again, how many? Probably 2 or 3, each of them, okay? Either 2 or 3 classes. And last, we can do probate. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just would.
Oh, okay. So these are the 3. So whoever wants to do lending, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got 6 lending. Who wants to do first time buyer? You could also vote for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it seems like that's kind of the same. Whoever wants to do probate? 1, 2, 3. So we got the least. So I think between lending and first time buyer is kind of like the same. So what do you guys think we should do? I know some of you raise your hand
I
for
feel
both.
that the first time time buyer, the only thing to the first time buyer, because I took the class on car, is just knowing so much about loans.
Okay, so let's do lending. Since you took
So
that,
I don't feel that there is not much, because I took the class.
you took
and
the class,
there's
perfect.
not much.
just 1 second. There's no attachment to what you sent Sam. She just called for Alan.
Okay,
There's no attachment.
let me
Can
double
you
check.
can you send the attachment?
Sure.
She's waiting for it.
Yeah, the only thing that he talks about in those 2 classes, and then you get your certificate, is that he talks about generation and what is the characteristic of each generation, you know, baby boomer and this and that.
I actually took it.
Okay,
You're right.
yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Just it's that about their characteristic and how you can approach them, and bunch of information about loans
Okay.
in detail.
Okay. So let's do this. We cancel out the first time buyer. I'll just do the lending, but in the lending, I'll talk about first time buyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. So we'll combine the two. 10% would be first time buyer. 90% would be lending. So let's do like 2 classes. Okay. So the next 2 weeks we do these 2, mostly lending, and then we can talk about probate and whatnot. All right, guys. All good. Okay. Perfect.